it's fine. It's a beautiful day out here, so I'm sure you're eager to go outside. So I just wanted to touch base with you and kind of recap what we did last time, which was looking at getting an agreement on the competencies for the core IT, which it was perfect. We made it in 2 hours. I know Amber couldn't stay towards the end, but she listened to the recording and gave me changes over a vote, which didn't affect the overall tally. So we're all fine. I received only one edit from Sylvia since the meeting, and it was just kind of a minor edit that didn't change the actual content very much. So are there any other edits or comments that you would like to make on the kind of the draft, the complete draft of the competencies, the document that I sent you? Anyone? Well, hi, Bill. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. So we're just starting, and we're at the point where I'm asking if there are any further changes to the summary that I sent after the last meeting a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, was it? Having all the kind of the draft, the complete draft of the competencies.
No, I don't have anything to add. I'm pretty good with it all.
Your audio is not coming through, Michelle.
It's not? Can you hear me at all?
Yeah. I can.
I can hear Michelle.
Maybe you should turn your volume up.
No, I'm only getting about every other word. You're breaking up.
Really, everybody else seems to be doing fine, so I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's on my side.
Oh, now you're good. Now it's probably caught up. Okay.
I'll try to speak very slow so that all my words come through, which is difficult for me, I know. So anybody else, any other comments, edits? All right, so the only thing that I want to bring up is, if you remember last time, I think it was Corinne and maybe someone else, they were not completely comfortable with all the competencies starting with understand. And one of the things that we talked about was changing understand systematically by something like explain basic concepts and use basic terminology relating to whatever. Sylvia actually proposed that we just use explain basic concepts relating to and just forget about the basic terminology part. So I was just wondering what people think about either keeping understand or replacing it with one of the two options, or any other replacement that you would prefer. I'll open the floor.
Well, I'll start. I mean, understand is something that's very difficult to measure, but having someone to be able to explain the concepts that you can assess is something you can measure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would your vote be for B or for C or for some other phrasing?
I think I would vote for B because the more it's more detailed, I guess. I don't know, more in depth.
I kind of like B, but I have it's a pet peeve, and that's to use the word basic, because basic to me implies you're dumbing things down really low. And if it would be explain fundamental concepts and use essential terminology or fundamental terminology, basic just has that kind of implication of really watering things down. Whereas fundamentals, I think, has a little better connotation.
Okay, so that would be explain fundamental concept and use essential terminology, you said?
Something like that, yes.
What if we, I kind of like the lines that the direction Sam's going on. What if we say explain fundamental concepts and terminology relating to?
Okay, I think what I'm going to do is share my desktop and open a Word document so we can do that together. Let me open a new doc. That's not what I wanted to do, of course. Let me just go at the end of this. Can you see my document, or should I make it bigger? Does this work?
That
Yeah,
works.
good.
So how did you want to change this at this point?
What about explain fundamental concepts and use industry standard terminology?
Anyone wants to make further changes on this? Or anybody's not comfortable with it?
So you could even make it explain fundamental concepts using industry standard terminology.
Anyone wants to make further changes or is not comfortable with this option? Okay. So I'll go ahead with that, and I'll make the changes across the board then. Let me go back here. Okay, so that was easy. So actually, we're pretty much done with the competency. Then I'll make the changes, I'll send them back to you. And then if you have any further changes, we have time. We can make changes until the end of March. The only thing is that if it's a major change, it would have to go back to the team for approval. So don't wait until March 31st to say, oh, I want to make a drastic change here. If it's just a typo or something that I missed, then that's great. But no major changes unless you give enough time to go through the group for approval. So the last deliverable, we're almost at the home stretch with this project. The last deliverable is kind of a feedback reflection piece. And I prepared a template that I will send to everyone. And I would like you to complete that template and send it back to me. Hopefully, I think our last meeting is Friday the 29th, if I remember right. And so if you could send it to me a few days ahead of time, that would be great. And then we can discuss your reflection and your feedback at the last meeting. Basically, the questions are grouped into 4 different categories. One is feedback about this process, the process that we took to arrive at the competency. What worked well, what could have been done differently. If you have any concerns about how it was done, that's the time to explain that. And then what you learned in this process, what was useful to you as a participant. The next section is really how you intend to apply the information, either the MTA or the core curriculum competencies. Is there any changes you're going to make into your program or your curriculum that you've already done as part of this process? And then kind of other comments and feedbacks. So is there anything else that you would like to comment on, or is there any other categories of sections of questions you would like to include in that document? I can show you the document itself. So let me go back again to sharing my desktop. And let me get to that document right there. There you go. So basically, as I mentioned, and I'll send this to you, the first part is reflecting on the process itself. And then as you move further is what did you learn? And then I asked also kind of a general rough idea of where you were with MTA when we started, and how do you feel you are with MTA now as far as your understanding and your knowledge. And then the last part is, do you intend to use the MTA? Do you intend to use the IT curriculum? And then additional comments. So that's what's on the form now. If there is anything else that you think the group should be thinking about and writing about as part of this process, I'll be happy to add sections or questions. Any comment? Okay, is that something that's feasible for you before the end of the month? And again, I think if you can get it to me a few days before the next meeting, which is on the 29th of March, that would be very helpful, so I can review it before we actually have the last meeting.
Okay. That's doable.
Okay. Anybody has any concern with this? All right, so that's all I had to cover today. So that's a really pretty short meeting, unless there is any discussion that anybody wants to bring up.
No, apparently we're all in an agreeable mood.
That's great. Or maybe you're all asleep or ready to get outside.
Yeah, I think it's Friday and it's nice out.
It's very nice out, yes. I'm waiting to go outside myself. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you again for all the work you've done. I think it's been a great team and a great outcome, and I'm really enjoyed working with you all, and I'll see you again on March 29th then.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. So long. Have a nice Friday. Nice weekend.
You too. Bye.